Hey everyone, we're back with Chaos Child. Last time, I think it's fair to say we got done with the first half of the story. Maybe it's not exactly the first half, but like, well, maybe? But how many? I don't know how many chapters Chaos and Steins Gate had. But it's definitely around that point. Like, things escalated, right? Like, you know, in Steins Gate, you get the first half, you know, science, and then the second half. This is the second half. I did try to go back to, you know, my videos to try to find the point where we see, you know, the sequence where Kid, Takuya, and Serika sneak into the hospital. I could not find it. I don't know where that point is. If someone wants to tell me, let me know. Otherwise, probably won't be able to reread it. I'm a little suspicious. Okay, right now there's 3 people on my I'm skeptical list, right? First off is obviously the teacher. That guy's just evil. Everyone knows he's evil. There's no point in, you know, talking about that. He's obviously evil. The 2 though that I don't want to be evil but might be are Ito, right? Because he's just been like at the wrong place at the wrong time, or the right place at the right time a bunch of times, or the right place at the wrong place. I don't know, man, but I'm a little suspicious of him now. And like, having like an insider would make sense, right? Because like, I forget about this, but obviously there's Moeka in Steins Gate. That's not even a spoiler to say that. Like, you know, she's a lab member, but she's not exactly, you know, you wouldn't call her trustworthy. And then I'm kind of wondering if Gen is in on this. You know, the homeless guy. What detail in Chaos that I remember specifically, because like, you never see homeless people brought up in anime, right? That is like almost never a thing. But like, what's the homeless population in Japan? Homeless population Japan. Really? Google's saying it's 2,800 people. I wonder if they don't, if they count that wrong or something. I don't know. That is a really low number then. But anyway, one thing I remember in Chaos Head is well, spoilers. I believe they paid homeless people to carry the mind control backpacks around. So I mean, you know, like the Committee of 300 like paying some homeless guy to get close to Takuya to do whatever to him. You know, that's not outside the world of possibility, right? Anyway, my theory for Takuya, remember, is I'm guessing he's in some position similar to, okay, I'm going full Chaos at spoilers ahead, okay? I'm assuming he's in some position similar to Shogun, where he can create things. I remember he had like some mathematical concept or something like that. We don't care about that part, but he created a delusion, Serika. But see, my problem with that is, you remember Takumi was a delusion or something similar, right? He wasn't quite real, it was made up, but like he could still interact with people, and his creation was artificial, but he was still a real person, right? So like, if my Serika theory is true, then people, you know, not interacting with it doesn't make sense. Anyway, she just turned into meat, so we all know what's happening here. Ooh-ah! What was that? What the hell was that? This better not just end with a delusion. I've been sitting on this cliffhanger for like 2 days. A giant woman with a head like a sumo sticker? It's almost like a bad joke. I wanted to laugh. This hilarious looking monster is gonna be what killed me? What the hell kind of death was that? That's right. Laugh. Laugh! Ha 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 ha! You laugh, that thing isn't scary at all. I guess that is Serika's hair, just dark. When I first looked at it, it looked like Meals. The giant woman's hands reach out for me. As it moaned in pain, its arms moved in to crush me. Suddenly my vision went black. Couldn't see anything. Did Ito save him? Then I realized. Probably crushed my eyes. Oh, that end? That hilarious looking sumo sticker woman had crushed my eyes. Gonna be torn apart like Serika and killed. It was the funniest thing in the world. Can you even imagine anything stupider?
おい、何をしている？
Laughing. Suddenly I heard a sharp voice next to me. Something covered my mouth to stop me from laughing. Let me laugh! Let me laugh! Grabbed from behind it, thin but powerful arms were wrapped around my neck. I didn't recognize that voice.
おい、何をしている？
That's not Mio, is it? It hurt. I couldn't breathe.
おとなしくしろ。それ以上バカでかい声を上げるな。
I wonder if that's like some delusion they have set up in the basement, right, to stop people from sneaking in.
静かにするなら話してやる。でなければ、このまま締め落とす。
You know, that's not a good deal. I'm gonna be loud. You can't stop me. Strangle me. I nodded as hard as I could. And then the hands around my neck relaxed. It became much easier to breathe. Yeah. What's Kya mean? My vision came back at the same time. Whoever had grabbed me had covered my eyes as well as my mouth. The anime crushed it after all. So I'm assuming this is pink-haired twin-tail girl we saw in the chair? Where's that woman? Where's that monster? Or it could be Mio. I don't think that's Mio. Ah! I doubled over in pain as she punched me in the stomach. What happened to Ito? I could feel stomach acid coming up into my throat and burning it. He saw the thing. So I mean, it's not just Takuyo. But the pain made my head feel much clearer. When I looked up, I didn't see a monster with the head of a sumo sticker anymore. Just a dark, musty hallway that stretched on forever. Huh? What? Is that just hallucination? Nice, Erika. I mean, I guess he could have imagined Ito saying it. Annoy? Ito? What did I...
なんか発作を起こしたんだよ。しかも急に叫び出して。
私たちもパニックになりそうだったの。そしたらKunosatoさんが助けてくれて。
Okay, this okay. Kunosato-san? Isn't she? How did she get in here? Alright, I think she's the girl who's in with Shinjo-san.
まったく素人だもが。こんなところで何をしている？
Yeah, I remember that cold voice. I looked back at the person at her. At the person at her? It's okay. It's definitely her.
お前たち、誰かに連れてこられたというわけではなさそうだな。まさか忍び込んできたのか？
Yeah, we're pros. You wish you could be as good as us. How?
私たちですらここのキーを入手するのにかなりの苦労を強いられたんだ。
I want to know what's going on with them. Like, what kind of wacky adventure do they have to get here? I assume the police man's with her. Sure, we had a bit of a bad time in the autopsy room, but it hadn't really been that hard to get in here. None of the doors have been locked. I really hope they left that handkerchief in the door. When I told her that, Kunosato glared at us with suspicious eyes. Kunosato-san?
まあいい。とにかく邪魔だ。今すぐ帰れ。
I can't, I have to get my phone.
おいおい、そりゃないだろ。
I one of one
助
NFT
けて
is
くれ
on
たのは
there.
感謝するけどさ、いきなり邪魔者扱いとか。
Ito's dead. Yeah, just kill him now. Save, you know, he could be guilty, so just, you know. Next instant, Kunosato-san closed the gap between Ito and herself, started strangling him.
騒ぐなと言ったのが聞こえなかったのか。
That's a yes. Ito nodded, tears coming out of his eyes. I could understand why. I didn't know how she could store so much power in her tiny body. I just felt it for myself. It's the lab coat, that's what gives her power. Ito grabbed his throat in pain as she let him go.
もう一度言う。邪魔だ。帰れ。
Her voice was intimidating enough that I almost obeyed, but we'd come here for a reason. And I can't believe we just had that cliffhanger for nothing. I've been robbed. I've been sitting here for the past 2 days and been like, oh boy, I can't wait to see where this goes. This place had something to do with our past. If I could, I wanted to find out what happened back then. Maybe we could finally be rid of the nightmare that had been making us suffer for so long. So even though she scared me, I needed to make it clear to her.
私たちはやらなきゃいけないことがあってきたんです。そんな風に頭ごなしに帰れって言われても帰れません。
Thank you, my subconscious. Oh no, this is gonna be really awkward when at the end, like, there's no Serika isn't real reveal, and I'm like, the credits are rolling, and I realize I was wrong the entire time. That was what I was trying to say.
尾上お前尾上セリカか
She met her earlier, didn't she?
そうですけど。何か
Well, if the real Serika was, you know, like a decade older, that would, you know.
いやとにかく帰るんだ
I know it's dangerous, but we have to.
誰がお前たちの心配をしている
Huh?
私は私の目的があってここにいるお前たちに勝手な行動をされてその目的の遂行を邪魔されては困ると
Yeah, but
そう言ってるんだ
we have our own goal. I have a phone to get. How cold. Why are you here then?
お前たちには関係ない
She turned around and started to walk away. Fine, we'll do what we want. Or, look, we give her a side quest, like, find my phone while you're here, and then we can leave. And then when she gets back, you know, we can give her like 300 gold or something for it.
しますから。
何
Didn't we have just a whole thing about stop yelling? Did Serika have to be choked out too? She turned around and glared at us. Her glare was like a fierce panther's. I swallowed my words, but Serika didn't.
理由も話せないような人の言うことになんて従えません。
貴様
さあ、タク、しんちゃんも行こう。急いでタクのスマホ見つけなきゃ。
Let's go! Adventure. Yeah.
やっぱ女っていざって時強えな。
Ito needs to get a lab coat. They'll give him like a +5 strength boost. Ito whispered in my ear.
だったらおとなしくついてこい私の言うことに逆らうなよ
Huh?
いいんすか
Just crouch and they can't see you from the other end of the hallway. Ito had become very polite towards her after she strangled him.
時間がないんだしかもここまで慎重に調査を進めてきたのにお前たちが見つかったり騒ぎを起こされでもしたら全てが水の泡になる
I realize what it is. Okay, this is full chaos at spoiler, right? Ito is kind of in the same role here as Yasu was, isn't he? I remember his name is like Yasuda because it's a reference to an old NES game, but I don't like this theory. I don't want Ito to be evil, right? But her arrogant manner was almost enough to make me talk back to her, but then I realized something. If she'd done a lot of careful investigation, that meant she had information that we didn't. So wouldn't it be better to pretend to obey for now? And then in the end, we can use you.
話は終わりだ壁沿いに静かについてこい大きな音や声は出すな
She looked down the hallway and then moved over to the wall. Then she tried to move, quickly and quietly. Made eye contact with Ito and Serika, and followed her. But we're gonna like sing our, you know, marching song. The further down the hallway we went, the darker it got. The lights were sporadically placed and half of them were burnt out. I had to look carefully to see more than a few meters ahead. The only things I had to guide me were the black-haired girl in front of me, the wall I was touching with my hand. You're saying they have like a janitor or something to clean this place up, but they can't replace the lights? Because they mentioned last time that the floors were cleaned. The wall hadn't been repaired for a long time. The paint had fallen off in some places. Some of the steel beams underneath were exposed. This place must have been built a long, long time ago. We walked through the underground labyrinth as quietly as we could. None of my 5 senses were of any use to me now, and I had no idea where I was or how I had gotten here. Kuno Sato-san seemed to know exactly where she was going. Looking back, maybe we were lucky to meet her here. What's that? I had no idea how long we'd been walking for. But we finally came to a part of the hallway with a row of doors on the opposite wall. The doors were made of steel and looked very strong. The upper part of each one was what looked like a number plate. There were tiny windows on the doors. They had thick bars on them. They looked like the solitary confinement cells I'd seen on a TV show once. Are there people in here? No way. The space beyond the doors was pitch black, and I couldn't tell if there's anything inside.
なんか気味悪いな。
I mean, he just witnessed like 10 or something people walking down here.
だから黙って歩け。
They wouldn't be that much of a
すいません。
surprise if there's more. I mean, I guess it is. Most hospitals have an underground prison. That's. Ito quickly apologized, but Kuno Sato turned around, walked up to him, and wrapped her hand around his throat again. God, I wish that was me? Is that
遊
what
び
you
じゃ
think
ない
here?
んだ。お前死ぬぞ。
Ito nodded again and again until she finally glared at him one last time and let him go. He put his hand to his throat and moaned a little. It was obvious that Kuno Sato-san wasn't messing around. Maybe this place was more dangerous than I thought. That's all. Kuno Sato too? Wait. That doesn't sound like Serika. Actually, I don't hear Serika in there at all. I think that high-pitched one is Kuno Sato. Suddenly I heard this sound of someone pounding the door from the inside. Wah! Someone's inside? As we all know, boys say wah, remember.
なんなんだよ、おい。
And that's all because, Serika's not real, so she didn't scream there, so it's all of them.
静かにしろ。騒ぐな。
But yeah. Wah! We almost screamed, but when we saw Kuno Sato-san's glare, we quickly put our hands over our mouth. The hell was that scream? Serika tugged frantically at my arm. Maybe we could just go. Then Ito grabbed onto me too. I also wanted to cling to someone, but there's no one for me to grab.
あれ、あっちの扉の中から目が。
Whose eyes are those eyes? What? I looked over where Ito was pointing and tried to see for myself. I couldn't see anything. You're imagining it, man.
いや、確かに見た。間違いなく目だった。
As? Question mark? Now there's singing. I could hear a girl singing in a tiny, barely audible voice. Okay, I wasn't for sure if I heard singing or if I was imagining that. Creak, creak. A woman was pushing an old baby carriage down the hallway towards us. She was the one singing. Okay, that is creepy. Oh, I remember Chaos had. Remember there's that phone call with the it was like a children's song, and then it was creepy. Hold on. Maybe this is just the maternity ward. She's just had her baby. She's leaving now. Serika and Ito flinched in terror. My heart was beating so fast and so loud I could hear the sound echoing in my ears.
止まれ。壁に張り付いてじっとしているわ。 向こうにはこっちが見えていない。
Oh, Jurassic Park. It's a dinosaur. But
いいから喋るな。
Kuno Sato-san pushed her back up against the wall and held her breath. We did the same, our bodies shaking with fear as we moved.
もっとお歌歌ってほしいのね。
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's animated. That's scary. Creak. The sound of the creaking old carriage got closer and closer as the woman passed near her. Kuno Sato-san was right. Her eyes were hazy and out of focus. She didn't seem to notice us. She was only a meter away. Wait, seriously though, what happened between the last time we saw Kuno Sato and now? Slowly. She's saying as she pushed the carriage right past us. Ito, shut up! Ito was so terrified that his body started to spasm. He gave a small cry. Ah! The woman stopped right in front of us and slowly turned around. She doesn't know. Her empty eyes stared at us. Slowly, jerkily, like a broken machine, she tilted her head. She doesn't know. We clung to the wall and held our breath, unable to move a muscle. We're too scared to even close our eyes. Take this anymore. I want out. I want to get away from here. If I stay here another minute, I'm gonna go crazy. She doesn't know. The woman stared at us for what felt like hours. Wait, I just remembered the scene of Chaos Head. Wait, remember Best Girl's mom ate the baby or something? Does anyone else remember that? Then she looked forward once more, as if nothing had happened, and started to walk again. What you singing to us? We may pass. It's like reverse Gandalf. I guess maybe that was Serika scream, not Kuno Sato. I thought it was like a Gap Moe moment. We almost collapsed on the ground in relief. Couldn't take my eyes off her as she disappeared into the darkness.
自分たちがどういう場所にいるのか少しは分かったか。
Even though we'd almost been crushed by the terror, Kuno Sato-san had been completely calm the whole time.
帰りたいと泣いてももう遅いからな。そこが目的の部屋だ。
Yep. What room? Kuno Sato-san moved away from the wall and stared straight ahead of us. That room? I followed her gaze to a pair of double doors in the darkness. They were different than the other. They looked like the doors to a normal lab.
来い。遅れるな。
Kuno Sato-san headed towards the door, seemingly completely unafraid. Erika's legs were shaking too much for her to move, so Ito and I helped her as we followed. When we got to the door, Kuno Sato looked out what looked like a keycard. Took out what looked like a keycard from her skirt pocket. Like, how did she get here? What happened? The door had a modern electronic lock, unlike the others we'd seen so far. She put the keycard up to the reader, and the door swung open silently. She disappeared into the room. I hope, it just never tells us what happened. We quickly followed. She said that... Remember, she said we earlier, so someone else is here with her. Probably the... Shinjo? Is that his name? We all gasped as we entered the room. The entire wall of the room was lined with monitors. Computers! They were probably set up to observe something, but every one of them was off, so there's no way to tell what it was. It's hard to believe that someone would set up something like this in a normal hospital.
Oi.
Hi.
Kuno Sato turned towards Ito and gave him an order in a flat, emotionless voice.
見張りくらいはやってもらおう。ドアの外の音に注意してろ。誰か来たら知らせるんだ。
了解。
Roger. Kuno Sato-san nodded, looked around the room, and then headed straight for a computer. She took a look at the wiring behind it, then flipped the power switch. The machine started to make a low noise. This stuff still runs?
見ればわかるだろう。
I'm making small talk.
でも勝手に立ち上げたりして大丈夫なんすかね。
どうして？
だってネットで繋がってたりしたら動かしてることバレるんじゃ。
I was kind of thinking that.
心配ない。こいつがスタンドアローンだということは確。
Standalone? What could that mean? I'm referring to when a computer is isolated from any computers or networks. Before the spread of modems or the internet, almost all home PCs were considered standalone. What? Crazy. Frankly, never seen any more to the sheer convenience of the internet.
認してある。
They could still find out later, probably. Right? But I mean, I guess that matters less. Oh, that explains it. That's true. At least we won't have to worry about someone seeing it from the outside.
お前たちが思いつくようなことを私が考えないとでも思ったのか。バカにするなよ。
Dude, she's cool. She's as obnoxious as ever. Neither of us know the first thing about you, though, so can you really blame us? With something that was neither Ito nor I could say. Or Sirika, because she was not real. God, I don't know what's worse. Either the Sirika isn't actually real, and like it looks like because if that's the case, it's gonna look like, oh yeah, obviously Horsey, you just looked it up, you knew it ahead of time, and you just pretended not to know. Or B, it's not true. This whole time I've just been spouting on about a theory that is completely wrong. Which one's worse? I mean, probably B, because with A, like, you know, that's not true, and I can just go, oh, you know, I have the high ground in my head. The OS on the computer booted up. I looked at the screen and saw Kuno Sato-san entering some kind of password. And like, realistically, like, that's never happened to me before when guessing a theory, right? But that's something in my head that happens. Like, just for example, like, oh, actually, today, even, I got a comment for 7th layer saying like, oh, wow, I didn't think your theories were true, but then it came true. And like, you know, something like that, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm a genius. I don't remember what I predicted, but I'm a genius. So I've had that kind of comment. I've never had someone accuse me of that. Which, whenever I get spoiled on something, I think I always, well, sometimes I'll be like, okay, not saying anything, and when it gets there, I'll be like, okay, here's what happened. Or B, I just say it outright. Like, have I been spoiled anything for Chaos Child? Like, no, okay, I mentioned the D-Sword thing. Like that. Although I could have just kept quiet about that when I saw D-Sword. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw the D-Sword. Looked at the screen and saw Kuno Sato-san entering some kind of password. But the problem with that is, if I don't say that kind of works into my theory crafting, right? So it's usually better to just say that. Password is accepted in the screen filled with several folders. We open them up and carefully begin checking the contents of each one. Unfortunately, many of the files were written in English, and we had no idea what they said. Kuno Sato, however, was reading through each one and nodding.
これはフォルダ自体にパスがかかってるな。
When the password is
ということはこの先か。
fun equals I don't even remember what Chaos said. Fun equals fun 10 times int 40 equals LR2. She seemed to be trying to unlock the password at incredible speed. She is not. What do you call it when like you go through every permutation of possible passwords? She's not doing that by herself. Hey,
なんだよ。
she's not a super hacker. You ever see her at school?
いや、どうしてだ？
She's at school wearing a uniform. Probably a student. Guess you've never seen her either. Was he? Was he not there?
マジかよそれ。
Ito seemed more shocked than I expected.
嘘だろ。こんな美人、俺がチェックしてなかっただとは。
He's definitely into her. Shame he's evil, and you know they can never be. It's like Romeo and Juliet. Not only was she attractive, she seemed incredibly smart, and an arrogant attitude that made her nothing like the other. If she'd been coming to school, she would have stood out, in both a good and a bad way. But Ito didn't know her?
何を調べてるんですか？
Serika asked the question that both Ito and I had been too afraid to ask. I was sure she'd been told to shut up, but
この施設で何が行われていたかだよ。
she answered Serika's question much more easily than I'd expected. I mean, I'm guessing this is the same place that, remember, Best Girl's mom was at back in Chaos Ed. It's gotta be, right? Then maybe I could ask something too. Does this facility have something to do with the hospital?
黙ってろと言っただろうが。
I'm very bad at following orders. Dang it! Why am I getting treated so differently? Because Serika's a girl? She one of, you know, those types, Shaki? What do you like to expand on that? Don't tell me she normally dresses and acts like a boy. That'd explain why Ito didn't know her. Kuno-san ignored me and typed in a series of commands and then opened what looked like a top secret file. And then...
Jared.
She smiled for the first time I'd ever seen and clicked on a file. Then, something appeared on the screen. It's a Rorschach. Is it some kind of drawing? That's obviously two bears high-fiving. The strange picture drawn in ink and paint.
何これ？落書き？
Oh, that's... I've seen this somewhere before. That is... definitely a Rorschach test. I'm a genius. I've seen, I only know it because I've seen, you know, that one superhero movie. It's also a comic book. I haven't read the comic. It's a bit better. I don't know. I remember reading about them in an issue of Cool Cat Press.
ほう。抜けた顔をしているが、
The
最低限
Walkman!
の知識はあるようだな。
Otherwise, I'd completely forgotten the name of these. Wasn't for sure if it was a compliment or an insult.
ロールシャハテスト？
Yeah, pronounced it pretty much perfectly.
あれだ。確か性格診断かなんかの。
That's right. Depending on what someone sees in a completely meaningless ink blot, you can analyze their personality and thought patterns. And the sumo sticker kind of is one. Like,
正確に言えば、インクのシミを落とした紙を真ん中で折り曲げ、それで生じた左右対称の図形を使う。
I remember thinking that they might reveal... Oh, I don't even see psychodiagnostics up there. Big 2. Or II. But I remember thinking maybe, you know, there's not actually a sumo face. Maybe it's something else. But, you know, now that I see it as a sumo face, I can't unsee that. Just like Kuno-san said, all the pictures on the screen are almost perfectly symmetrical.
ただし、ロールシャッハテスト自体、果たして精神分析法として有効かどうか、疑問視もされているんだがな。
Kuno-san was studying the screen intently. Does that mean this is a psych ward, like the one upstairs? If that was the case, I could imagine what these monitors were there for. They're to look at each of the patient's rooms. That means this was a medical facility that treated illnesses. At least that's what I wanted it to. Because the thing that Serika and I had seen as a child, the strange atmosphere that we'd sensed, and that voice, which I could still hear in my ears. Okay, sorry, I'm back. We had abandoned her and ran away from this place. I got a phone call. Did they not get noticed by anyone? Like, I want to rewatch that scene, or reread, or whatever that scene, but I cannot find it. So if that wasn't some kind of torture chamber, and this place was actually curing her, Serika and I would be free of the guilt that had been for so long. But my hopes?
違う。ここはそんな生優しい場所じゃない。
were quickly dashed by Kuno-san's answer. She opened another folder. It was filled with reports, written in Japanese this time.
センスへの断続的刺激による臨床実験。ロブスに与える電気信号とフェノメノン。
Phenomenon! I know that word!
思った通り、ここでは脳科学方面からのアプローチによる臨床実験が行われていたようだな。
Anything about mothers eating babies in there? A brain science approach? Clinical
う
trials?
るさい。余計な口を挟むな。
But think a girl I know might have been here.
何？
I lied. I didn't know who she was. Sucker. But I thought that if I didn't lie, then Kunosato-san would never tell me anything. Just as I expected, when she turned around, saw the first faint glimmerings of interest in me on Kunosano's face. I gave her a brief description of what I witnessed here so long ago. Kunosato-san bit her lip. The expression was different than before. Then she forced herself to look back at the computer.
はあ。それは間違いなく人体実験だ。
A human experiment. No, then that means... No, that's just, you know, normal hospital wear. You know, that's... You know, the saw bear trap helmet thing, and, you know, the gag, and, you know, the... What do you call it? The straight jacket? You know, that's all normal stuff. That means she was... That horrible vision started to eat away at me again.
簡単に言えば人間の脳をいじる実験だよ。
Screwing around with a human brain? That's just...
だから言っただろ。ここはそんな生優しい場所じゃないと。
Kunosato-san was trying to keep her face as expressionless as possible. And the second she opened up another folder, she gasped a little. You could see the words on the screen as well. Wait a second, what is this? She was completely focused on reading the report, so she didn't notice that I was looking over her shoulder as well. Clinical trials on extrasensory perception, specific tendencies of expression for special event variation. What were event variations? Well, that's what you either press Z or I think C and you get a positive or a negative one. Kunosato clicked the mouse to move on to the next page. He read along with her. Pathogenesis via visual stimulation. Accuracy rating 9.25%. Manifestation via induced dopamine emission in the central limbic system. Damage and removal of the pathogenesis scene, thought tracing, remote viewing, influence on events via amplified delusions. Over half the report is filled with specialized language that I didn't really understand. By desperately connecting the words I did know, I managed to make some sense out of the report. And... no way. Stunned. Is that really possible? The girl who'd cried for us for help was being experimented on here. The point of those experiments was to alter the human brain and make it develop supernatural powers! That explained why Shinjo-san and Kunosato-san were talking about psychics. That was the commonality that I suspected was lurking behind the murder.
おい。
Kunosato caught me looking, threatening me in a low voice. But I didn't have time to worry about that. Is this true? It sounds like science fiction. This is some kind of science adventure or something. They looked unhappy but gave in.
実験自体は随分と前から行われていたようだ。というよりも、この病院自体がその実験のカモフラージュのために建てられたと考えてもいい。
This whole hospital? So do you think those people actually had powers and like they had been to this hospital before and you know they did experiments on them?
ああ。
Possible. But are they still?
はあ？
Are those experiments still going on? That's true. Is she still here?
いや、ある出来事をきっかけに中止されたらしい。
Oh, well, why are like, you know, all those people on a tour here? Is this like a museum now? A certain event?
中止されたのはちょうど6年前。
Oh, 6 years.
2009
Okay.
年11月6日。
Is this 2015?
それって
Yeah, it is. It says it every time. Duh. Like it tells us the day, like every scene. The day of the Shibuya earthquake.
地震のせいで研究どころじゃなくなったのか。
いいや違うな。この病院は震源域の外だ。被害は全く受けていない。
What if they're gonna reveal that they caused it? Then why?
だからそれを探って。
Kunosato stopped short and clicked her tongue. She must have decided that she told us too much.
いいからおとなしくしていろ。
She pushed me away from the screen, lightly. Looked like she didn't want me to read anymore.
これは。
But you can't click and push me away at the same time. Kunosato's hand froze on the mouse. She was staring intently at the screen. She started to talk to herself.
11番目のロールシャッハが脳に与える影響。11番目。
Maybe I was 11. She just knocked me away so I couldn't see the screen, but I couldn't help but lean forward. Her voice was just that strange. What's wrong?
ロールシャッハテストには10種類の絵しか存在しない。11番目なんて聞いたことも。
Is that true?
だから黙ってろお前。
Are they really only... Hold on, I'm looking that up. Or... I spelled it wrong, but Google knows. No, not the character, the test. Yeah, okay, there's 10. How about that? I figured, you know, they just made some up all the time. Kunosato turned around and glared at me. When she did, I caught a glimpse of the monitor. Sumo sticker. The screen is filled with thumbnails of the different Rorschach tests. Kunosato was just about to click on the mysterious 11th Rorschach. Kunosato clicked to open the file. When she did... Ah! When I see the... That's the 2-bear sci-fi, isn't it? I don't really see the sumo face in here. Like, there's definitely some shapes that are confidential, guys. You can't look at this. Like, it looks like it has some shapes in common, but it's not quite the same thing. What appeared on the screen was like this part right here. That I think that's just his chin area, right? Like this little squiggly line there. The sumo sticker. This is a very rare one. Added to my NFT collection. Ah! I had no idea what was going on. I felt sick. Couldn't stand. Collapsed to the floor. Ah! Felt like something was crawling up from the bottom of my intestines. Something was bugs. Tiny slimy bugs with lots of little feet were crawling up from my stomach into my throat, scattering disgusting fluids up behind them as they moved. Ah! Disgusting crawling sensation passed through my throat and out into my mouth. The hell were these things? Stop it! Help me! I feel sick, help me! Get out of my body!
タク
Hello. Ah, blah, blah, blah.
タクしっかりしてよタクってば
She real? Why is she talking like that? Ah, blah. Ah. Huh? Did I fall asleep? No, that's not it. I looked at the screen and suddenly felt sick. And then passed out? Where am I? My head feels horribly cold.
なんだか気持ちがいいね
Okay, so... Okay, here's my theory of what's happened to Takaku, right? He's stuck into the hospital with fake Serika, who's made by the real Serika as a projection, right? To like get help or something. Takaku gets in there, gets caught, they experiment on him, or something. He goes into a coma for like the 2 years, I think? You know, wakes up, you know, at the Oba clinic. That's that. And, you know, they experimented on him, so he has like superpowers. So that's why he's one of their targets of the NGM, to kill him for some reason. I just heard Serika's voice, but I can't see her. Where am I?
ほら見て見てしんちゃんたらあんな格好になってる
Ito is here? No, he can't be.
私とタクもお揃いだね
What? Matching? What is she talking about? When I looked at the sentence on, my head cleared instantly. Serika was next to me, lying in the same kind of seat I'd seen the girl in the vision sitting in, almost like they're the same person. What was strange was her head. Something on top of it, slimy and pink. That's just her hair. That wasn't it. That was her brain! Yeah, it's actually, let's see it. Top of Serika's skull is completely gone. Several electrodes sticking out of what remained. And Ito's revealed to be evil. Suddenly heard a high-pitched scream coming from the other side. Oh, he's having fun too. Took some time before I realized the voice belonged to Ito. That's how insane it sounded. Okay. His voice actor's having fun. Couldn't tell if Ito was screaming in pain or pleasure. That was... brain was exposed. Part of it seemed to be missing. Ah.
気持ちいいねトク
Wah! I tried to move, but I was held on tight and couldn't budge. Let me go! Let me go! Let me go!
動くな
Thanks, Mio. I heard a cold voice from above my head. The voice was... Ah.
今すぐお前もあいつのようにしてやるだからじっとしているがいい
It was like, ooh. Something cold touched my head. At least, that's how it felt. Not like Ito. I like my head and my brain. It felt good. Like my brain was going to melt. Soon, I wasn't sure where I ended, and the rest of the world began. Okay, delusion over. Okay, yeah, everyone else was just, nothing happened. Huh? Where am I? Am I back in the basement?
トク大丈夫
Yeah, I'm alright.
起きら
Yeah.
れるかほら
Ito slowly helped me to my feet. Sorry, what happened to me?
うん画面にね例の怖いシールがいきなりアップになったからびっくりしたんだよそれで転んでタクは頭を打っちゃって
Hey, brain injuries are serious. Head injuries are serious. You go get that checked out. Good thing you're at a hospital. I think they can take good care of you. I see. I grabbed the back of my head, and sure enough, there's a big bump. Kunosato was staring at me from the front of the screen. Thought she was going to complain again, but instead she pulled me up to look at the screen.
確かめてもらいたいことができた来い
Oh, that sticker, I'd rather not. I don't feel well.
いやあれじゃないいいから来い
What if she has like a list of patients? If you want me to not look, then you want me to look.
なんだ
Fine. Since it was clear that she wasn't going to take no for an answer, I stood next to her.
お前に確認してほしいのはこのファイルだ
And it's Onoe Serika's. Kunosato tapped the report on the screen with her nails.
11番目のロールシャン派さっきの画像に何らかの効果があるとみなされて初めて実験に使用されたのが2007年とある
Okay, that's 2 years before Chaos said. 2007, yep. that's what I said. I was right around the time people started to see the sumo stickers, if I remember. And the same year we stuck in to find out the truth about the urban legend of Amazon. But they went with the Garo froggies instead. Took the mouse and read the next part. Found that those with the potential to cause event variations responded differently to the 11th Rorschach than other subjects. The phenomenon was first observed in subject 79. Oh! Minamisawa Sentry. Is that King Twin-Tail Girl then? Easily remember Nono had her number. I stopped scrolling down the screen. There's a picture of a girl there. Your name not Onoe Serika? Okay, I'll admit that one hurts.
どうだその子に見覚えがあるか
タクこの子
Ah! You remember her? That was the girl. That was the girl we saw that day. That's the girl who also saw us and begged for help. Kunosato-san looked at me.
さっき話していたこの施設にいたかもしれない友達というのはこの子なんだな。
I mean, how do you know that? How would Mio know? Oh yeah, it's definitely this one. Yes. I wasn't sure how to answer, but decided to keep up the line that she was my friend. But subject 79. I wonder if that number has significance or not. Truth was, I'd only just now learned that her name was Minami Sawa Senri.
そうか。
Kunosato looked very sad. I didn't even know she was capable of looking that way. She stared at the picture of Minami Sawa Senri on the screen.
私はお前のことは嫌いだがここで苦しんでいた友達をずっと忘れないでいることには敬意を払ってもいい。
I love it's the thing he's lying about. You know, I don't like you, but maybe we can find common ground on this one thing. And Tiger was just sweating in his pants. Oh. Her eyes grew just a little softer. Felt a cold sweat as they looked at them. It wasn't out of French that I've never been able to forget the girl named Minami Sawa Senri. I guess she was in my nightmares. Couldn't say that. All I could do was try and make it hard to tell what I was really thinking.
本当は救いたかったのにそれができなかった。でもそれは仕方のないことだ。気に病むことはない。
That's not it. That's not what happened. Been too afraid to save her, then I abandoned her.
今彼女はどうしているんだろう。
Kunosato-san didn't realize what I was thinking though. Showed up more data on the girl named Minami Sawa Senri.
彼女は11番目の画像で特殊な兆候を見せた被験者としてかなり強引な実験を受けていたようだ。でも死ぬことなく生き延びた。
Yeah, now actually she's just besties with No-No. Yeah, just didn't know about her. Forceful experiments? And that could kill you? When I heard that, I almost threw up. Did my best to keep Kunosato from finding out.
だが渋谷地震の時に運悪く震源域に居合わせて、
Oh.
それ以降は行方不明ということになっているな。
Well, No-No has her number though, so she's probably just undercover or something. Missing?
いや、正確にはこの実験施設が地震の直後に機能を終えてしまったため彼女に関するデータが存在しないというのが正しい。ただ地震の犠牲になった可能性は高いな。
I see. It was horrible, but I felt a little less like throwing up. Very least she hadn't died because of the experiment, because we had abandoned her. Hearing that made me feel like I'd been forgiven a little. A violent sense of self-hatred overcame me again. Sorry, Minami Sawa Senri. I've been practically tortured here as part of those experiments. Been caught in the earthquake. I felt something tugging at the edge of my memories. Minami Sawa-san? Haven't I heard that name somewhere before? You weren't there. You didn't witness that. Then where? From who? Or maybe he did. Her name's been mentioned in another scene. Before I could think about it any further, Ito spoke up hesitantly.
なんだ。
この実験施設機能を終えたっておかしいですよ。その割にあちこちに人がいましたよね。それに小さな女の子も。
Wait, Ito, you didn't see them. You went in head first.
そうだよね。
俺たちその女の子を追ってここへ来たんです。ここが廃棄された施設って言うならあの子一体何を。
ああ、そのことか。
I guess you knew about it. Okay. Kunosato closed the file on Minami Sawa Senri, and her face took on its usual cool, emotionless expression.
ここは今実験中にトラブルのあった被験者たちの保護施設として使われている。
Trouble? During their experiments?
実験に失敗して脳に損傷を負ったり正気を失った患者を程度によって軟禁もしくは監禁しておくための地下収容所ということだ。
You know, do you think that the woman pushing the stroller was actually what's her name's mom? I forget if she survived. But a cold chill ran through my body. Yes. You can't mean. That's not.
ありえねえ。
ひどい。
目的のためならどんなことでもやる連中がいる。お前たちが相手にしているのはそういう連中なんだ。だからさ。
Oh, I warned you at the start. Kunosato opened another file.
これで見る限り現在でも20名近くの人間がここにいるようだな。
Jeez, okay. She scrolled down the page and a new picture appeared. Oh, wait, that girl. Oh. Yuki Yamazoe? That's the girl we've been following. Date of birth 2001? She's 14? I think Dr. Noriyose. Wait, hold on. Kale said BNDB. Characters. Not that guy. Not that guy. Wait, hold on, click spoil all. Spoil all. Noriyose. Yeah, Noriyose was the big bad from Chaos Head. Interesting. Cursive! My one weakness! It looks like it says medical. Ah, God, you can tell a doctor wrote this. No. TU. That's 14. TU 14. Reh. Height? I don't know. That's a G. That's a T. That's an I without a dot. That looks. No, that's an H. Thai? I don't know, man. Rank A, confidential. Type A. Anything else on here? Oh, hold on again. 1 second. Okay, sorry. I keep getting phone calls. Like, I think that's everything we can get out of this image. These brain scans. These are brain scans, right? I don't know what those. To be honest, I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't know what these mean. I'm sorry. Look, I know that's a big disappointment. I've been hyped up in the neuroscience community. So that's October 10th. Or the 19th month and now. Born on the 10th day. You never know.
間違いないよ、タク。名前は、山添うきちゃん？
Number 126.
この子ももともと実験に使われた被験者だったようだな。
え？ The shattering revelation was presented to us as a mere matter of fact. It was the most ordinary thing imaginable. Erika covered her mouth with her hand and her eyes went wide. Suffered the same fate as Minamizawa Senri?
幸い、彼女は最後まで正気を失うことなく実験に耐え、生き残った。今はこのフロアで収容者たちの世話をする仕事を与えられているらしい。
Caring for the patients. What, was that just like their family's son? I thought she was a criminal who stole my smartphone and threatened me. Well, I thought she was either connected to the killer, that maybe she was the killer herself. And we're not past that just yet. No, I'm not so sure. Don't let yourself be fooled by her looks or her past. Because, remember, someone calling themselves Amy-chan said that, and I thought at some point this girl did call herself Amy-chan. That situation, she's the only one who could have picked up my phone. Here's a test subject here. She might have some kind of power too. Well, I mean, I feel like those are red herrings, but I mean, there's more to her than meets the eye. You need something like that if you want to make a call from a canceled smartphone. With my mind raised, Kunosato was checking out every bit of data on the mission. But
実験の結果、ディソードの発言は全被験者の 0.01% に満たず失敗と断定。別の技術を模索すべきと結論。やっぱりか。バカな科学者どもが。
they don't even have lab coats. Kunosato sounded uncharacteristically ticked off as she closed all the folders and turned off the PC. Sorry? Strange words snapped me out of my reverie. Seemed like that's what she'd been looking for. I looked at her, hoping for some kind of answer, but she just glared back at me with terrifying eyes.
そろそろ時間的に限界だ。出るぞ。
え？
これ以上ここにいれば発見される。
But we still haven't found what we're here for.
お前たちは計画がずさんすぎる。この施設内の構造すら知らないのだろ。
How did she get the blueprints to a hidden underground hospital jail? She was right. Stuck in here as a child, but that was all. I didn't remember the detail.
そんなことでは探したところで無駄だ。
Right, but there must be some way. I looked around the room and saw the rows of monitors. They were on, they could at least tell us what was going on around the facility. Maybe they could tell us where Yamazawa Yuki.
どうした宮代？
Looking for the power source for these monitors. Turn them on, then maybe.
無駄だ。そもそもその監視システム自体動いているのかも。
Presses a button and they all turn on. Huh? Suddenly the room was bathed in pale light. All the monitors on the wall turned on. What? All I could do was gasp. What we thought was security camera monitors were now showing. Ah! Hundreds of sumo stickers! Tucker's dead. Wah! So shocked I almost screamed.
タク、これ。
Then the monitors on the wall. It's face after sumo sticker face, all looking at me. Thought it was gonna be like Noah or something. What was this? What was going on? I only remember Noah's name because I saw it on the VNDP page just now. Where am I?
おいおい、勝手に寝るんじゃない。
Not another lobotomy. Kurosato-san, huh? Back in the chair. Is this a dream? Which was the dream? Was I dreaming of being in this chair, or had I been dreaming of being in the monitoring room? My head felt really cold. He opened my skull.
お前はなかなかいい脳みそをしているな。
Is that a compliment? Do I?
ピンク色でシワが多くて。
It's not
とて
smooth!
も美
Let's
味しそ
go!
うだ。
Should I be happy about that?
もちろんだ。さて、それじゃあそろそろいただくとするか。
I think you're not supposed to eat those. I think it's like prions or something that are bad for you, or I don't really know, but Kurosato grinned with glee and took something metallic out of her pocket. Spoon?
人間の脳はこうして生きたまま食べるのがうまいんだ。
This unsettles me. Who knew?
では、失礼して。
Like I've heard you can't actually like feel the brain being messed with, right? But that's still I don't like this. Yeah, no, I don't like she was eating. I don't like this. Kudos was eating. Was eating my brain. I don't like this.
ダメだ。止まらない。
I don't like. I'm uncomfortable. I can stop. Stop the sound effects. I never thought that it would feel so good when someone ate my brain. I don't like it. More, eat me. Okay, we can stop now. Thank you. Whew. Again, another weird delusion. Quickly shook my head and slapped my cheeks to snap myself out of it.
なんかやだ。
気色悪い。
Hiraka and Ito looked unhappy because of the sumo stickers displayed on the monitors. I looked at the monitors once more, trying my best to avoid the sumo stickers. Hey, don't look at them at all. Is that the inside of the hospital? Some of the monitors are showing the inside of the hospital, but some are looking somewhere else. Street corners in Shibuya, signs, under bridges, alleyways, overpasses, train station staircases, store walls. Then I realized all of the monitors were sumo stickers from security cameras outside the hospital. I even recognized some of them. That's the spot where Kurusu had been attacked. Because there are sumo stickers there.
なるほどな。探していたということか。
Searching?
さっきのファイルに書いてあっただろう。特殊な事象変異を引き起こす人間は11番目のこの画像に反応を示すと。
Kurosato pointed to a corner of one of the monitors. Quickly looked away before I got a direct look at the sumo sticker. In other words, whoever is using this place put up the 11th Rorschach image all over Shibuya, used these cameras to find people who were in. Then they took them to here, performed those horrible experiments on them. I remembered what I'd seen happen to Minamisawa Senri. Felt like I was gonna throw up again. Then Kurosato-san made a sharp noise. Put her hand on one of the monitors, brushed away the dust, and stared at it. Heard something moving around a dark room. No sumo sticker there. Was it an image of Shibuya or the hospital above? Probably showing one of the rooms down here. That girl! It's definitely the girl. On the screen, they're saying something to an old person lying on a bed, gently wrapping belts around their arms and like that.
急げ。もうじき警備が回ってくる時間だ。
Okay, yeah, let's Graham. That girl was my only clue as to where my smartphone was. But you know, maybe that can wait. But then we had to find the room on the monitor. Kunosato suddenly told me she knew where it was. Are we really? She'd been uncooperative so far, but I had no idea why she suddenly decided to help. When she saw the girl, she suddenly said she'd go with us. Of course, I knew her well enough. She wasn't trying to help us, she's simply taken an interest in that girl. That's how I saw it. We moved down the dim hallway, the temperature dropped and the humidity went up.
ここだ。
She stopped in front of a door with strange words on the plate. Okay, look. This is like almost an hour in. Like, I need to call the video soon, guys. I bet, right, that the scene with this girl is going to be very short, and then that's the end of the scene, right? But I think I have to save it for next time. I'm sorry. Don't kill me, okay? Because, like, I don't like this, because I'm going to stop there at least for a couple hours, if not for the day. And I want to know what happens next, but, like, I'm cold and hungry. I have to turn off my heater because it's very loud when I record and I'm so cold. So please, I'm sorry, I have to go. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.